Today. My name is Bethany Hall, and I'm the Manager of Marketing and International Relations at the University of Pennsylvania's English Language Programs.
And my name is Amy Nichols. I'm the Manager of International Research and Program Development, also at the University of Pennsylvania's English Language Programs.
Today we're going to discuss studying English in the United States. We're going to give you a little bit of an overview of the many different options there are to study in the United States and what some important questions will be for you to think about as you decide to study English in the U.S. Okay.
You can start talking about
Okay, I just need to switch.
Okay. It's on page 10. There we go.
Yes. So first off, we just wanted to let you know about the rate that it has increased. Many students are now studying English in the U.S. From many years ago, the number, as you can see here, has increased substantially. We often want to know why students are choosing this option, why so many students are choosing to go abroad and learn English rather than learn in their home country.
And one of the reasons is that the United States is a safe and friendly place to learn, and students get much more of a chance to practice their English in daily life if they study English in an English-speaking culture, and particularly in the United States, where so many people are so excited to meet international students and interact with them.
So today we're going to talk about some of the questions that you might want to ask yourself when you're deciding what kind of program you would want to study in the U.S. We're going to go through some of these questions and tell you the different aspects of what you'll be able to choose from, the different options available to you, and what you'll want to keep in mind when you're making decisions like this. So in the U.S., there are many different kinds of schools. When you're choosing to study English abroad, you can study at a university, you can study in a private institute, and these different options have very different types of programs. Costs can vary quite a bit depending on the size, quality, location of the program. Private programs in private institutes are typically more flexible when it comes to start dates of when you would be able to start and finish the program and the length of program. Though you may encounter new students entering the program during your period of study. The university-based programs are usually a bit more rigorous. And we'll talk about all this in a lot more detail as we continue on. Both types of programs, though, are very full in the U.S. And so these programs are the right fit for different types of students. So we'll continue to tell you about the different options and what you'll want to think about when you're deciding what is the right type of program for you.
The next question you might have is what kind of program you want to study in. And of course, you want to study English, but are you interested in developing your general English skills? For example, if you want to go to university in the United States, or are you interested in a more specialized field of English like business or science or nursing or law? And it's important to know what kind of program you're looking for because that will help you choose the best school for you.
The amount of course options may vary quite a bit between the different types of programs. And so that's something you'll also want to keep in mind when you're exploring the different programs that you might be interested in. One thing to think about when you start your search is figuring out what the best timing for you is. Are you interested in studying on a very short program, maybe just a few weeks? Or are you interested in a longer, more intensive program, maybe several weeks, months, or even an entire year? These are all options when you're studying English abroad. And it will depend on what your end goals are, what you're hoping to accomplish by your studies. Private institutes, as I said before, typically have shorter programs with more start dates. And universities often have longer programs with more set start dates.
Another thing to consider with timing is time of year. So for example, if you're interested in experiencing in the United States what we call our fall weather or our winter weather, then of course that could have an impact on what time of year you would like to come and study with us.
It's also important to remember when thinking about that the US is huge, and so you can experience different seasons throughout the US. For example, you'll experience more winter and snow in the northern parts of the US, whereas in the more southern parts, it might be a more temperate climate year-round. Next, you might want to think about what the best setting for you is. Are you more interested in living in an urban environment in a larger city, or would you like a very small town? There are options throughout the US, and so you can find the right option for you. There are many large cities with great public transportation systems that will allow you to explore an entire city while you're staying and immersing yourself in English. There are also many small towns that you'll get to know quite closely and maybe have a campus environment in either of those options. So that's another thing you'll want to keep thinking about. Would you prefer to live on a university campus, or would you rather study at a private institute that's not embedded in a university campus?
The next question you'll want to think about is, what classroom style are you looking for? By this, we're thinking about many things. One is the curriculum. What kind of curriculum are you studying? Is it academic or content curriculum? How experienced are the teachers you're working with? In some schools, teachers must have a master's to teach English. In other schools, maybe a master's is not required. You can also, when you're searching for schools, think about things like the size of the classes. So how many students will be in there? How many different levels of English can be taught at the school? So for example, can you be a beginner, or do you need to be an intermediate? And if you happen to be an advanced speaker, how many elective options you might have so that you have a fulfilling and interesting curriculum.
You may also, when thinking about the classroom style, think about how much you're planning to study. Is this a vacation English program for you, or are you hoping to accomplish academic goals when studying? These are all great questions to think about as you begin to explore your options. Another question that's quite important is, what type of support will you have? Going to a new country, to a new academic setting can all be a bit overwhelming. And so you want to remember to figure out what kind of support. Will there be advisors to help you choose classes? Will there be advisors that help you apply to US universities if that's your goal? This is something that many programs offer. However, what advising is available may vary significantly. So it's important, again, to think about what your goals are and figure out if the program that you're looking at has the type of support you'll need.
There are some other things, they might seem small, but they're important to think about, and that is, what else might you want to experience while you're studying in the United States? We have talked about settings, urban versus rural or more small town, and we've talked about types of curriculum. But what else might you want out of an English program? Because there are many possibilities. You might want a campus with beautiful facilities and libraries, or gyms where you can work out, or sports fields where you can play sports. You may also want to have an official certificate from your program, or some kind of transcript or other paperwork that shows your work in an official way. These are a variety of things that might be important to you, and so therefore they're very important to think about as you're choosing a school. And what about fun? These people are clearly having fun in this picture, but you shouldn't only study if you are going to come to the United States. As we said, we're a safe and friendly country, and it's very important that you also think about what you like to do for fun. Because if you're having fun while you're immersing yourself in our culture, it will be a much more valuable experience for you. So do you want to have trips to amusement parks? Do you want to visit big cities? Do you like museums? Do you want to be with people, a lot of people your own age in a university setting? Lots of good questions to ask because fun is also important.
At our programs, for example, we have a student services coordinator who coordinates many activities for students to do throughout their session. They are able to enjoy activities on campus, in the city, as well as field trips that might go to a local beach or shopping mall. There are many different things that you can access in the US, and you want to think about whether or not you want support in being able to access them, or you want to be able to meet with someone to help you figure out what might be the best ways for you to really immerse yourself outside of the classroom. So knowing what kind of social services are available to you and what kind of activities will be available is something you certainly want to look into when you're deciding about programs. And of course, you're concerned about where you'll be living. Throughout the different programs in the US, there are going to be many housing options. Some might be more similar, where throughout the US, you'll be able to stay with a homestay family. Is this an option that will be a good fit for you? Are you hoping to immerse yourself as well in an American family environment, or would you prefer more independence? Some university-based programs will allow you to stay in their dorms. Some cities will have off-campus housing that's easily available. Some places might have set dorms that are just for international students. It's important to think about what your priorities are and what you prefer in a living environment when you're deciding where to live and what kind of experience you'd like.
And then, of course, you have to think about how do you get there. So you need to make sure you're familiar with visas, the visa process. Once you find a program that you want to go to, make sure you have enough time to fulfill all the visa requirements and get the paperwork completed. And also think about and look into sources of financial aid and think about how you will pay for these programs. These, of course, are important.
So most programs will issue and require a student visa. So most programs will issue an I-20 document. As far as financial aid goes, many programs will not offer financial aid. However, there are some that do. The EducationUSA financial aid or scholarship webpage is a great place to learn more about different scholarship options.
When you go to look at programs, and we encourage you to look at many, you'll see that the costs or the prices for those programs could vary. Even though the programs may be the same length of time, even though the programs may seem to offer similar types of English instruction. But the reason the costs may vary have to do with a variety of variables, one of which is the location of the program. For example, if it is in a big city where the cost of living is higher, that can make the price of the program more costly. Another reason could be in the curriculum itself. The more variety of electives that are offered often can increase the cost of the program. Keep in mind that variety is often very nice when students are studying because they have a lot of choice about what they will take. Other issues that feed into costs are materials, housing, teachers, the level of training for those teachers. So teachers that have more education and a master's, usually those programs cost more as well.
So as Amy said, it's important not to just decide on cost. And remember to look at these other factors that we mentioned when you're planning your trip and trying to figure out what program would be a good fit. So this leads us to that final question of what is the best fit for you. It's important to remember many of the questions that we covered today. So things like, What is the best timing for you? What kind of program are you interested in? What kind of school would you like? What is the best setting for you? What's your classroom style? What type of support do you want? What type of social activities and fun are you looking for? Where will you want to live? And how are you planning to get there? Will there be financial aid, or will there be any visa requirements that you'll need to know about? These are all very personal questions as far as what's a good fit for you. And these will affect your decision as to where you'll want to study. But as we've said before, the US is filled with many, many options. It's a great location to study, to immerse yourself. It has a very diverse people, diverse cultures, and is safe and friendly. And so we hope that you look into a variety of different programs and find one that's a good fit for you. We can answer some questions if anybody who's listening to the webinar does have some questions.
No. Okay. Should we talk a little bit about
Yeah.
Should we talk about it? Okay, we can go back.
Yeah.
So right now, while we're waiting for some questions to come through, we're going to go back through the slides that we presented on and talk about these questions in reference to our programs. And if you have any additional questions in general about the topics we covered today, or about our question or our program specifically, please feel free to type in some questions and we'd be very happy to answer them.
So in terms of what kind of school, we are from a university. We offer 3 kinds of English language instruction, general, academic, and business. But we are a university. We are not an institute. Along to study with us, you get to experience a typical American university campus.
And just for those who might not know much about our university, we are an Ivy League university that is located in a city, which does lead us to that question later on about what kind of setting. And we'll go into that a bit more after we go to the next one. So as Amy said, we do offer a variety of programs. Some are shorter term, maybe only 4 weeks in the summer, while some are longer term for 7 weeks sessions, which students may take multiple sessions of. Our programs are a bit more academically rigorous, so that means you might have homework in our programs. You will be working towards your English and academic or business English goals when you're there. Our programs are not vacation English programs, and so for students looking for that type of program, they might want to explore other options.
In terms of the best timing, we offer general English courses and academic English courses, and also even some business English courses throughout the year. Our programs are primarily 7 weeks. Sometimes, as Bethany said, they're 4 weeks, but we have students coming to study with us all through the year. So we're very flexible in that way.
So as we mentioned, we are situated in the campus. We are part of the university, and we are in an urban environment. So we are located in the city of Philadelphia, which is between New York and Washington, D.C. So for our students, they often come because they're excited about exploring a city, exploring a university campus, as well as having the opportunity to travel to other cities on the weekends, maybe to travel to the beach as well during the summertime. So these are things that our students prioritize, but maybe things that you would want to think about when you're deciding.
And on this slide, you can see a picture from our campus. On the top picture, that's the University of Pennsylvania. And in the lower picture, it's actually from a University of Pennsylvania building looking out into the city of Philadelphia. This is one of the classrooms in our program. We teach in relatively small classes. The average class size is about 12 students. They're very interactive classes. We do not lecture. The students work in small groups. They study in a very academic style, and they study right on campus with the rest of the University of Pennsylvania students.
This is also a picture taken from our classrooms as well. However, for our advising, for our support that we offer students, we offer a wide variety of of advising services, both academic advising to help you figure out what classes you should be taking, to help you deal with any academic issues you might be having. We also offer support for any cultural adjustment issues that you might be facing, and have someone that students can talk to deal with those issues as well. Finally, we have a wide, a significant portion of our team that works with students planning to go to U.S. universities. And so there are academic advisors, there's a college counselor, we offer workshops, we invite people from other universities to meet with our students to learn more about the admission process for students who want to go to undergraduate or graduate programs in the U.S. So for our particular program, there is a lot of support outside of the classroom.
As we've said, because we're a university, our students enjoy being part of a university campus. As students of the University of Pennsylvania, they have access to all of the libraries and outdoor facilities, recreation, any activities that are offered to the University of Pennsylvania students are also available for our students, including the clubs and organizations during the school year. We also do give certificates at the end of every program, which our students always enjoy having.
And as I had mentioned before, we do offer quite a lot of support to get students out and having fun. For us, it's important that students not only study, but they also explore campus and get involved and kind of touch the campus experience, as well as get into the city and interact with community members throughout Philadelphia. So for us, we offer a lot of ways for students to get out into the community, to have fun with each other, and to enjoy their time outside of the classroom.
Our students live in any of the options in this picture. Some of our students live in homestays. Some of our students live in dormitory type residences. In our summer programs, they actually live in the university dormitories. Some of our students also live in off-campus apartments, particularly if they come and study with us for a long time.
And as with other programs, we do require a student visa, and we do help students with this process by issuing the I-20 form, which is required for this. Unfortunately, we are not able to offer financial aid, but we do encourage students to look into different scholarship options available through either organizations or government scholarships.
So when you come back to the question, what's the best fit for me? Of course, we find that the University of Pennsylvania is a good fit for a lot of students, but it might not be the best fit for everyone. So make sure you're thinking about things like how hard you want to work, where you want to be, when you want to study, and what kind of overall experience you're looking for.
Again, if anyone has any questions, we are able to take them.
But it looks like there are not any. So
thank you so much for joining us today. And we hope that this session was helpful and informative for you.